Hi, and welcome to the Flex with Aaliyah. I'm your host today and every day, Aaliyah. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today, we're going to be talking about grip. What it is it relevant? How can you strengthen it? Because I'm really into working out and obstacle course racing. Grip strength is insanely important for both of those. And I'd say probably more so for obstacle course racing or Ninja Warrior because you're really using your hands on some of the more technical rigs with different holds. And if that's someone sounds like you, then this is probably a great episode to tune into. I'm going to kick things off with a quote. Grip strength is armor for hands and wrists. You want to protect those bad boys? You got to work them too. And they're small muscles. It's not like your legs or your back. People tend to focus on their biceps, their chest, their back, and their legs. But we don't want to forget about our hands because we use them every day. Typing, texting, brushing our teeth, writing. Does anyone write anymore? But I write. It's not a lost art. Let's just say that. Even kids with coloring, sports where you throw a ball, hold onto a bat. It's relevant to our everyday life and our activities. Improving your grip strength is just as important as strengthening the big muscles like your legs, your glutes, muscles in your arms. It's important. And grip strength is really how firmly and securely you can hold on to things and how heavy the things you can grip are. Grip strength refers to how much force your hand, wrist, and forearm muscles can exert to grasp an object. And did you know that there are several types of grip strength? Not many people probably actually know that. There's crush grip, support grip, and pinch grip. Crush grip is how hard you can crush an object between your palms and fingers, like when squeezing a bottle of ketchup or holding on to a bat as you swing. Support grip is how long you can hold on to an object. It's important for activities like carrying groceries or doing pull-ups. Dead hang might be one that sounds very familiar. And then you have pinch grip. Pinch grip is how hard you can pinch an object between your fingertips and your thumb. And you kind of do that when you hold a pen, hold a pencil. And understanding those different types of grip and how you execute them will influence a type of training. And I think there is a passive way to train and then a more direct way to train. Doing exercises that really hyper focus on these types of grip, I would call more direct. And then we have more passive exercises where you're doing something else, but due to the nature of the exercise, you're also working your grip, but it's not the main element of the exercise you're doing. Obviously, first and foremost, you want to focus on proper hand grip. Whether you're doing a exercise that is specifically targeted for your grip or one that's more passive. Passive could be like lat pull down. It's focusing on your back, but you are holding the handle. And how you position your hand and what you're doing with your fingers is relevant, one, to the exercise itself, and two, your grip strength. Same thing as a rowing machine. Even though you're driving with your legs, you're working your upper body and your back. It's also working your grip because you're holding on to the handle. And if you have ever rowed with sweaty hands, then that grip work is even more intense. Or perhaps you paired it with some other exercise and now your upper body is taxed. And you'll really feel that grip strength come into play on the rowing machine when it's paired with a more grip intensive exercise, like maybe a high pull or ring rows or push-ups. Here are some very simple exercises that you could do. Tennis ball squeezes. You take a tennis ball, you put it in the palm of your hand, You do not use your thumb. You're going to take your 4 fingers and you're going to crush the ball into the palm of your hand. You're going to hold your arm at 90 degrees. So that means your wrist is even with your elbow, and then it makes a 90-degree angle with your shoulder. And then you're going to squeeze the ball, hold it for 5 seconds, and then release it. You're going to do that 10 times, clench and release, and then switch and do it on the other arm. Squeezing a tennis ball might seem like a pretty insignificant exercise, but it's a great way to engage your wrist and finger flexors, and it improves your crush grip. Now, if the tennis ball seems a little bit too challenging, you could use a foam stress ball as well. Another exercise is wringing out a towel. So you take a towel, you wet it, you're going to hold it horizontally in front of you at chest height, so your arms are out. You're going to hold a hand on each end, and then you're going to twist like you're trying to wring out the towel. And you're twisting in opposite directions. One is turning towards you and one's turning away from you, and you're wringing out the water. You're going to repeat that 5 times. This also works your crush grip, and it strengthens muscles needed for support grip. And then support grip is where you're holding. You could start this exercise with a small hand towel or face towel, and then work up to a larger towel as your grip improves. And then there's reverse wrist curls. You could take a dumbbell or a light barbell, and you're going to hold it with your palms facing down. You want your forearms either resting on a bench or your thighs if you don't have a bench or a table. The wrists are hanging off the edge, so that way they are unsupported. And you're going to curl your knuckles back towards your face and then slowly curl your knuckles down. You're going to repeat that about 10 to 15 times, rest, and then do it again for 2 more sets. So you're doing about 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps. The reverse wrist curls work your forearm muscles to increase grip strength. And we have farmer carries. I really like farmer carries. This one is a direct exercise, but I also feel like it's a little passive. A farmer carry, you're going to hold either a dumbbell in each hand or maybe a kettlebell in each hand. You want to make sure you have good posture where your shoulders are back, so you're really focusing on engaging your upper body muscles, your upper back muscles. And then your hands are holding on to these weights, and you want to pick relatively heavy weights for you. You're going to choose a designated distance. Maybe it's 10 meters, 20 meters, or even longer. Maybe it's 100 meters. Start out small. Do a couple down and backs, or maybe if they're really heavy, just 1 down and back. Then rest. If the exercise feels too easy, you can either increase the weight or increase the distance. Because if you have a heavier weight, you might not be able to hold on to it and travel as far. So let's say you pick too heavy of a weight and you try to do 100 meters. You might have to put it down. That's okay. If you're just starting out, I would choose a lighter weight and really focus on completing the distance. And then once you've completed the distance, increase the weight and try to maintain the same distance, or extend the distance or decrease it depending how heavy you decide to go for your farmer carry. Another exercise is plate pinches. So you take a plate, it could be a 10, a 15, 25, maybe you get to a 45. Some gyms have bumper plates and the 45s are really thick, or you have the metal plates which are a little bit thin. And that will also dictate what weight you use. And a good way to start is you can have the plates resting on your calves, on your lower legs, and you're just going to bend down, pick them up like you're pinching them. You want your fingers and your thumbs straight, and you're going to squeeze together and hold the weights. You're going to stand up. It's very similar to a farmer carry, but instead of holding handles, you're pinching the plates together, making sure they don't slip out of your fingers. And you're going to hold for about 10 to 15 seconds. Then you're going to rest. And you want to repeat that a couple of times depending on the weight. You could do less time and more sets. Or you could do lightweight and hold for longer and do less sets. It might sound pretty obvious, but plate pinches strengthen pinch grip. Then we have dead hang. Dead hang is you're going to hop up on a pull-up bar and you are just holding on. Your body's hanging, there's nothing supporting you, just your fingers. And there's different types of grips you could use for dead hang. You could have your fingers and your thumb over the top, which would be a monkey grip. You could have your thumbs wrapped around the bar like you're trying to hold it, which would be a C grip. You also could do more of a reverse grip, which would be a chin up hold, where your arms are straight for the dead hang. Or even mixed, where one is in a pull-up position and one is in a chin-up position where your arms are straight. That's another way you can vary that dead hang and work on your grip. The dead hang engages the forearms, the hand, wrist flexors, and it really improves your support grip. Then we have pull-ups. And pull-ups can strengthen your support grip and crush grip. They work muscles in your arms, shoulders, back, and chest. And this is a movement that can be challenging to master in the beginning. So maybe starting with dead hangs before progressing to pull-ups would be in your best interest. Those are some basic grip exercises you can do where you don't need any fancy holds. A lot of people, especially in the OCR community, which stands for obstacle course racing, like to go out and buy the fancy grips. And those fun, fancy grips are beneficial, but you don't really need them that much because you can either find something like that in your house to strengthen the grip, or it can be easily replicated. I remember when I first started training, I didn't have anything, but where one of the places I worked had a set of stairs that didn't have backs to them. So I would hop up and I would hold the back, and I'd walk up the stairs with my hands or just do holds, which is strengthening that pinch grip. Now I could choose to engage my thumb or not, and that's a way that I'm strengthening my grip, where I'm also doing a support grip where I could do a dead hang, but my fingers are flat pressed on the step versus holding a cylindrical bar. That's almost like doing those ledge boards, because you're not always going to have that perfect, nice cylindrical grip. That's what's the cool thing about grip training, is it's so diverse. I just had a client do a server hold. And what that was, we took a 45-pound plate, or two 45-pound plates, because it initially was too easy, and you'll have your hands out in front of you at a 90-degree angle, and you're holding the plates. You're making sure you're not pressing your elbows into your side or into your belly for support. And you are just holding that to really working your biceps, your forearms, and the weight is all on your palm. It's not pressed up against your body, so the further it gets away from your body, the heavier that weight's going to feel. And that's a great hold for grip strength. When I didn't have any weights, I actually used a cinder block. I got creative with what I had access to. Some other creative things you could do are, for your support holds, maybe you're really good at dead hang, or you're pretty good at pull-ups. So then add a towel. And now do your pull-ups on a towel, or your dead hang, or your dead hang on a towel. Then add a second towel. So each hand has its own towel, which is a little bit harder if they both are on the same one. You could do a lock-off hold. You could do straight dead hang hold. And you start to get creative. And once you get really proficient at holds, then add some dynamic movements. So transitioning with both hands on one towel to the other towel, and then back. That's a good way to train your grip strength, because you're constantly having to transition your body weight that is now moving and stabilize with your hands. So in a nutshell, all those exercises would be really beneficial for you, whether it's to improve for obstacle course racing, or maybe you have arthritis, or you're just trying to get better grip strength. Perhaps carrying groceries is hard, or maybe brushing your teeth. Those are all functional activities that we do that rely on our grip. So it's something we don't want to forget about. And initially I had talked about passive versus direct training. So passive training would be like, I'm doing barbell curls, I'm doing bench press, deadlift, things where I have to engage my grip to hold on to while I'm doing the exercise. It's in the nature of the exercise, like deadlifts. And if I really want to work my grip for deadlifts, I could choose a moderate to heavy weight and have a decent number of reps. And I'm forcing myself to hold on to the bar. Whereas if I'm doing it for strength, I might actually drop the bar for my repetitions. Working on my grip strength, the goal is to hold on to it. So try those exercises out. Message me, comment, let me know how they go, which ones you liked, which ones you found really challenging. And before I go, tie it back all in with that quote I started with. Grip strength is the armor for your hands and wrists. We do so much with our hands, we don't want to neglect them. So start gradually incorporating a few minor grip exercises. I think the tennis ball squeeze one is an excellent one to start with. So try it out, and I'll catch you next time on The Flex with Aaliyah.